Good afternoon. It's March 24th, 2019. Democrats use Nazi policy to get registration, then confiscation of your guns. This is a good one I'm going to bring to you. And the reason why I'm going to bring to you is because I'm constantly harping about how foolish it is to register your weapons. It's really foolish to register any property, but your weapons are the most serious, and you should seriously not register them. You know, for all the people that hate Ozzy Osbourne, he did say something pretty cool. He said that if guns kill people, then why don't we just send them to war and keep the people home? And the Beatles saying happiness is a warm gun, but Democrats are singing registration, then confiscation of your guns. A firearm registration bill was introduced in the Pennsylvania legislature on March 8th, 2019. Safety is the mantra of anti-gun activists, but there's nothing more unsafe than a disarmed population. And their claim of control is a means to their goal of a gun-free society. Does that mean the government will be gun-free as well? This policy can only be implemented by compliant citizens, meaning you, meaning through your cooperation. Now, much like most of the tyranny that's going on now and has gone on in the past, it's because of a compliant citizenry. Just keep that in mind when you believe that compliance is a virtue. It is not. So, but political opponents, the deniers, must be eliminated by social shaming or civil and criminal penalties. There are historical lessons of totalitarian governments which rule because citizens have been deprived of weapons. The Nazi policy. In quotes. The record establishes that a well-meaning liberal republic would enact a gun control act that would later be highly useful to a dictatorship. That dictatorship would then consolidate its power by massive search and seizure operations against political opponents under the hysterical ruse that such a person were communist firearm owners. It would enact its own new firearms law, disarming anyone the police deemed dangerous and exempting members of the party that controlled the state. It would exploit a tragic shooting of a government official to launch a program under the guise that Jewish firearm owners were dangerous and must be disarmed. This dictatorship could generally disarm the people of the nation it governed and then disarm those of every nation it conquered. the USA's fundamental rights. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Of course, I would have preferred they say a free people. In the 2008 case, District of Columbia v. Heller, the Supreme Court held that the Second Amendment protects an individual right to possess a firearm unconnected with service in a militia, and to use that firearm for traditionally lawful purposes, such as self-defense within the home. And this was reported by the Legal Information Institute of the Cornell Law School. Remember that registration of firearms is only the first step, stated the Requisition Act sponsor, Representative Paul Kilday, Democrat from Texas. It will be followed by other infringements of the right to keep and bear arms until finally the right is gone. And they're going to use the UN to implement this. They're going to have to, because a lot of the law enforcement people are going to end up walking off the job. Let's see here. I don't want to keep you all day here because I've already made one long video. Okay. Law-abiding citizens' registration of guns will not prevent criminals from obtaining unregistered guns. No lives will be saved. Note the bill's absence of whereas clauses of findings of facts to support unidentified benefits. Also, the absence of redeeming press releases of the bill being introduced by Democrats Angela Cruz, Mary Jo Daley, Mary Louise Isaacson, and Democrat co-sponsors Joseph C. Horenstein, Jewish, Joanna E. McClinton, and Benjamin V. Sanchez. The bill failed in 2009, 10, 2011, 12, 2013, 14, 2015, 16, and 2017, 18. Now, is it going to fail this time around? Well, hopefully dickhead up there in Washington, Trump, doesn't sign the bill. But you never know. He did say, take the guns first, process second. This proposed law can be enforced only if the government is aware that you own a gun. Will the police conduct a search for guns, literally door to door? If you are forced to use a gun for self-defense but fail to comply with registration, could your defense effectively be an infringement of the Fifth Amendment? Fail to register a gun, then risk a criminal penalties of 90 days in jail. The government likely will confiscate your gun. You will likely not be eligible to possess another one, and you likely will be limited to lesser forms of self-defense if you follow the law. Look, if you're in such a bad situation that you have to use a gun and they're outlawed, there's really only one thing to do, right? That's to use the gun and then clean up the mess. Gun registration will lead to gun confiscation, as illustrated by Australia, Canada, and Germany, as well as the United States, California, Illinois, and the heart of liberalism, New York City. National gun confiscation has been proposed by liberals, including Representative Eric Swalwell, or as I like to call him, Swallow, Democrat from California in 2018. The NAACP 2018, and Hillary Clinton, presidential candidate. Admit it, liberals, you really want a total ban on firearms. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi suggested that a Democrat president could declare gun violence a national emergency. And their conclusion is that we haven't learned shit from the past, and it is the compliant citizens of a nation that allows tyranny to thrive within that nation, which makes you, the compliant citizen, just as guilty of the atrocities the government commits as they are, through your passivity, something like that. Anyway, don't be a fool. Do not register your firearms, because these motherfuckers are coming to get them. Until next time, kill the state before the state kills you.